Every life insurance agent wants to make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month or scale their agency to $1,000,000 a month until they learn what it actually takes and what you have to sacrifice. My name's Trey. I'm the owner of Agent Lead Lab. In the past 4 years, we've helped now over 700 agents issue pay $40,000 per month. And on this channel, I try to talk about the strategies, tactics, and behaviors that you can go out and execute so it can help you grow your business as well. Please, as always, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. So hopping right into the video today, I want to talk about the mindset that it really takes to win. And as always, let me give context on where this comes from so we can just hop right into it. So in the previous video, it may have actually even been my last video, I think I talked about how we hit $627,000 as a lead vending business this past month, which for some people, they say a lot. I think it's not a lot at all, especially in comparison to some of our competitors and other people in this space, but we are getting there. I'm just documenting this process. And I want to give a quick update. But what I'm about to explain today is relevant for not only if you're running like a lead company, but more importantly as an agent. Because as you continue to grow, they say new level, new devils, or you hear, the higher that you continue to climb, the more obstacles that you will face, and they just look different, right? So over the weekend, just to give you guys context, I was feeling good. We released a crazy offer that a lot of people started opting into. We got a lot of sales. We were rolling into this month. I'm like, y'all, we're gonna push 700,000. And on the 4th of July, we had a major issue that happened. Actually, it was on the afternoon of the 3rd. Basically, all of our leads that we're distributing to our clients stopped distributing. I just found out that in Google Sheets, you can't have over 10 million cells or whatever. So literally, as I'm spending time with one of my best friends, I realized that our entire business had stopped for one lead type. Which is our most popular, and everything halted, but I didn't realize it. So for the next, 7 to 8 hours, nothing really happened. It was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. Rolling into the next morning, I'm noticing like no new updates. I don't see anybody's like leads getting disposition and I typically get reminders on my business phone. So I go to look and I realize that we have like 90 leads that have not been distributed. Probably more than that, honestly, if I'm being transparent, like to the point where like I get to my phone, I'm like, whoa. So I look and I'm trying to figure out like, where's the problem? Is there an automation issue? My team's obviously off. It's now the 4th of July. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I look up what could have happened. I'm using Claude and come to find out that, we've hit the capacity. So I then try to figure out a way to rid that problem. So I end up like start deleting previous agents that were in the distribution platform to free up room, and the leads start distributing. So I'm like, okay, we're good to go. Well, lo and behold, like we leave, we go to brunch, and the next thing you know, all the lead orders get filled. So then I realized that all the lead orders got filled with duplicates. So it started mass sending out duplicates. And literally, we got all of our lead orders filled in like 30 minutes, which I was like, whoa, what's going on? And then everybody was texting and emailing. And for 2 days, we just had to sit there. We lost money because we didn't spend money on ads. We obviously lost all those leads. Right? Because some lead companies would just be like, oh yeah, not said anything and try to finesse. That's not our place, right? So we hold integrity. So we went out and told the agents that, unfortunately we had a problem, but we will reimburse you guys, give you guys a discount, like do right by people. And the point I'm trying to make is like, theoretically, that was anywhere between $15,000 to $40,000 we'll see in lost income, like for the business immediately on top of like, everything else, probably more than that, considering, what I had to pay out the sales team, the time, the opportunity cost, etc. So we come into, Sunday into Monday, we start figuring out, and, now we're kind of back to normal. It's Tuesday of that week as I'm currently recording this. And the reason why I'm giving that context is because what did I expect as I continue to grow? That there wouldn't be problems. It's just now the problems are bigger. So what was previously like, oh, a few agents lost, 15, 20 leads, now turned it to a $10,000 plus loss. And the same thing happens for life insurance agents. I just watched a video today that was talking about an agent who's investing or was investing about $20,000 towards leads. And I know to a lot of people that's like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. But in the business scope of things, that's not really a lot of money at all. It's barely scratching the surface. So when you think about it, you're like, well, I think that what I'm doing is a lot, but as I grow, a lot becomes so minor, a lot becomes a little essentially, because now your new standard is what you used to deem as like, oh my goodness, that's a lot. And that also means that your new failure or, mistake or thing that you're overcoming or learning is now turning into a bigger situation than what it was before. Because previously, what was now making $10,000 in a month is now losing $10,000 in a few hours. And you get to the point where that happens. And that's important because as agents, I don't think we realize that in order for us to get to 40K and we're at 10, it's going to take us having to overcome some obstacles and also investing in a different way. It's going to require us to be willing to take those risks. It's going to require us to be willing to actually put up the capital to get there. Oftentimes I see with people that buy leads from us, work with a lot of other companies, they're always trying to like penny pinch their way to success. It makes no sense to me. I don't understand how you can think that in order for you to get to where you're trying to go, right, in a more effective way, that you could just budget your way there. Like, it's not going to happen. You have to put the money up. Now, I'm not saying that you need to blow the money, but you need to invest the money properly. Like, if you want to, the difference that I've realized is that making $1 million in over a life, like, oh, I made $1 million. That's great. Okay, there's a difference between I made $1 million in my lifetime and I made $1 million in a month. I made $1 million in a week and I made $1 million in a day, or I made $1 million in an hour. They're all different. So the sooner that you can realize that it's not about you making money. Oh, I make $600,000. Great. I make $600,000 in a month. And that's not to brag or to boast. I'm just saying, like, your frame changed. Like, I remember when I first ran my business, I made $1 million in 10 months. 10 months. 10 months to make $1 million. I literally shrunk that down to, God willing, by the end of the year, I'll make that same amount that took me 10 months to do in 30 days. Now, that's not to brag or to boast, but you don't think that in those 10 months that I ran into problems? Yes. You don't think that in those 10 months I took losses? Yes. So when you shrink it, you're still going to take losses. And I'm not saying you're going to take losses every 30 days, but you will take losses. And when you do, the swings will be bigger because you're playing in a new league. You're not in the same league. And in order for you to go from 10,000 to 40,000 or 20,000 to 40,000, you have to play in a different league. You have to think differently. If you keep thinking as a $20,000 producer, you're always going to be a $20,000 producer. You need to think like a $40,000 producer. Think like a $60,000 producer. Think like $100,000. I keep saying 40K. Honestly, 40K is nothing now. Like, genuinely. Like, we've helped a lot of people get there because relative to like the standard, that's way above the standard. If you issue 40,000, then you'll probably have about 28 to 30 hit your account. It's pretty good. It's about $300,000 a year that you can make as an agent, right? Let alone you having a team, etc. But you need to think differently. And part of that is like, you just need to pay attention to what other people are doing. I think it's so misunderstood that the cheat code is the people. You think the cheat code is like some special AI sauce. That's not the cheat code. It's the people. Like, most of the times the resources are still there. Like, YouTube's still YouTube. Claude is still Claude. ChatGPT is still ChatGPT. Google is still Google. Like, those things won't change. It's how do you use those things? Facebook, it's like, how do you use, well, the only way you can know how to use those things more effectively is by talking to people who are using them in a different way and what results are they getting. And then you just copy off their test. One of my mentors say they want to be a copycat, right? They lie, they cheat, they steal, right? That's their mindset, right? They're going to cheat off the right person, right? They're going to lie to themselves every day, right? And then they're going to steal the playbook, steal the game plan. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously that's a negative connotation turned to a positive, but you get the point. Like, most of the times you just need to copy. Agents ask me, yo, how do I run these leads? What's the best way? I'm like, bro, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, why don't you just DM the person who's doing the best? Just ask them what they're doing. We have over 800 videos. Why don't you just go watch the video and do exactly what they're saying to do? Nah, well, I think I should. Well, that's your problem. You think that your way of doing it is going to get you to where you're trying to go. That's not how it works. If your way was getting you to where you wanted to be, then you would be where you want to be. You're not where you want to be because your way is not getting you there. Point blank, period. You are not where you want to be because you have not become the person who can get the things or do the things that you want to do. So in order to get the things or do the things that you want to do, you have to become that person. Unfortunately, that requires you to have to take bigger swings, which is the point of my video. Right? A lot of times when you take bigger swings, you're also going to take bigger L's, and you have to be okay with it. I caught myself being like, man, dang, I'm kind of out of the dumps. I didn't even get to record yesterday, strictly just because I was trying to get everything situated, get everything handled. But nonetheless, like, you being able to sit down and understand that this is a part of the process and get over it quickly is the fastest way for you to be able to grow. Everybody experiences failures. The ones that are the most successful, they flush it and just keep it pushing. It takes them a few minutes. All right, took the L. Right? I saw one of my homies who, I have a pretty good relationship with, lose $60,000 because he wanted to bring somebody into his agency. I was like, dang, bro, how you feel? He said, yo, it's just a part of the process. Gotta take L's. I'm like, dang, he's taking it like a G. But at the end of the day, it's like, what other option do you have? You don't have another option. Like, this is what you've been given. Just use what you've been given. And if you can focus more on that, right? If you're like, yo, I got these old leads, I'm going to just max these old leads out. All right, I'm going to make the most money I can with these old leads. And now I'm going to transition into fresh leads. Okay, I got these fresh leads. They're not the best, but they're good enough for where I'm at. I'm just going to max these joints out. Those are the people that win. You look at every day as new opportunity. You clock in early. You do what you need to do. Now, what you've done is you've calloused yourself up so when you take those big losses, they don't hurt as much because you know what it took you to get there and you know that you can get back there again and you can get back there relatively quick. You just have to do the right things. Now, does it make it feel any better? Absolutely not. But business is not about feelings. Business is not about feelings. I go back to the moment where I was sitting there and I was like, oh my goodness, right? And I knew that I was kind of frustrated. I wanted to go see my brother before I left. I was in Nashville. I wanted to go see my brother before I left. I didn't even have time to do that because all this stuff happened. I tried to get it fixed. Then next thing you know, it took me like 45 minutes instead of 10. And then we had to drop. It was like, now I missed out on the opportunity. And my wife just looked at me and she was like, all right, cool. Well, like, so what are you going to do about it? Like, you just go sit here in the dark in this hotel. We got an hour and a half to check out. Or what do you want to do? I was like, all right. Like, yeah, let's get up. You know what I mean? And like, I needed that. And a lot of times we just need that. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like when you get to $20,000 a month and you want to get to 40, 50, 60, 100, the question is like, what are you going to do about it? Most of the times, Alex Hormozi has this phrase where he says, more, better, new. Most of the times, it's typically just more. Like, and even for myself, I'm like, dude, it's just more. Like a lot of times when we try to do better, sometimes even it's like, bro, you just need to do more. And then you get to a point where you're like, dang, okay, I'm doing more. There's not much more I could do. It's like, all right, let's make this better. And then you typically like make it better and then you can do more of what's better. And then you go back to, it's like you stay there for a very long time. And I think most of the times in business, you can really just stay in, more and better. Like you don't really have to go to new. Now you can, but you don't have to. So you knowing that like, all right, this is not mandatory, but it's something that I do understand that is a part of the process. Now I'm going from more to better. Most of the times as an agent, the more is just buying more leads and working more hours. Genuinely, it's not even anything else. Doing more training. That's about it. Then you become a better agent. You get better leads, right? And then you get better with your time. It's nothing more, nothing less. I hate to say it. It doesn't matter the lead, the company, where you're at. That's typically what it is. Now, to get the highest ROI, that's where you start differentiating between what opportunity is better than the next. What lead company has better leads. They give you things that fit you a little bit more than the next. That's about it though. So hopefully this helps. As always, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. If you're interested in checking out leads, go to leadlabcrm.com. If you're interested in booking a call, go to agentleadlab.com. Hopefully this helps. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.